Okay. So now I'm trying to do here that, according to machine learning techniques, the age and weight are going to be input features. And absolutely the weight is going to be the output is going to be the, dependent variable. Dependent variable. This is also called as the output variable. Means based on the age and the height, I wanted to predict the weight. So the idea is that if you wanted to train your model, firstly we have to split this entire the data set. So let me take one more row, like something called as a 25 year is the age, or else 35 will be the age, and 5.7 will be the height, and weight can be 75. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So now the point is, I wanted to be, if you want to train your model, 2 rows, 50% of the data, 50% of the data, I will be considered as a training data. Training data. Okay. And rest of the 50% of the data, I will be call it as a testing data. Testing. So if you are going to write a Numpy accessing of the data in this particular form, if I ask a question that, can you display only 2 rows of this particular data, that will be a training data. If I ask you the third and fourth, which means fourth and fifth row of the data, it will be a testing data. And there will be age and height will be input features, like x and y, x1 comma x2. These two are input features. These two are input features. Comes to this particular column can be y. This will be, this variable is going to be the dependent variable. Or else we have to predict our thing. Are you clear? See, if you look at the machine learning techniques, especially supervised machine learning technique, yeah, there will be the formula called y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c. So here, if you look at carefully, y is going to be the weight here, and x is going to be the height. This particular equation is going to be treated as univariate learning technique. Univariate learning technique, or else we can call it as linear regression technique. Linear regression. If in case the y is the variable which will be depending on the more than one particular variable, then it is called as a multilinear regression. Then the formula is going to be changed as y is equal to m x1 plus m x2 plus c. M and c are going to be the coefficients. So we'll be talking very detailed manner while talking about supervised learning techniques. So firstly, you have to understand now x1 is going to be the age, x3 is going to be the height, and m and c will be calculated dynamically based on the sample data set. Now idea is based on the x1 and x2 we have to predict the y. What could be the weight for a healthy man? Based on that the BMI is also going to be calculated. So the point here is that if I ask you to write a code using Numpy such a way that, isn't it? So input features are going to be age comma height. You have to retrieve the code using slicing operator. You have to store into input. Then output is going to be the y. Y is going to be the only the weight. You have to display the a comma height. You have to display the weight as the output variable. So there are four possibilities. There are four possibilities here that there are four possibilities. One is I'm going to ask you that training data is to be displayed, which is two rows, top two rows, top two rows from the Numpy array, from the 2D array. The second is that test data. You have to display bottom two rows from the 2D array. Next, the third one is that input features need to be displayed, that age comma height of the columns. Okay. The fourth possibility is that output variable, you can display weight. Column. I think now for me, I wanted to have all these particular answers to be displayed. Okay. So please let us go ahead with yeah. So you can yeah. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to import Numpy as NP. Okay. Now my idea is that create one variable, create one particular data is equal to where np dot array. Now you have to create a two-dimensional array. What is that? So one is age, probably 20 years, and the way like height will be 5 5 feet, and the weight will be probably 50. Okay, this is the first row. Second row is that, isn't it, same. Age of the person will be 22, height will be 6 feet, and the weight can be 55. Similarly, 25 is the age, 7 feet is going to be the height, and 69 will be the weight of the person. Okay, 45 is the age, like something. 45 is the age. The height of the person will be 6.3, sorry, or else you can take it as 6, and randomly the weight can be 70. Okay, that's all. I think you have created the data, right? We can able to execute, and we can able to print also. You see, the data has been created. The data has been created. It's a two-dimensional data. So where you just consider that it is the age of the person, it is the height of the person, this is the weight of the person. This is my sample data set. I wanted to be, firstly, before going to train my model, firstly we have to split the data. What are the possibility of the splitting the data? Firstly, these two will be the training data. These two will be the testing data. Isn't it? So the split can be 2 now. The split can be the 2. This and this. See, the data might not be always has a 4 rows. It might be having lakhs of rows. And the possibility of features can be 3 to 4, 5. More than that, the model is not going to fit properly. So we have to restrict the most useful features rather than keeping unnecessarily features. The columns are always the features of a particular domain. Let's suppose instead of age, height and weight, I'll be taking the student aggregate marks, extracurriculum activities, and placement judgment, whether he is eligible for the placement or not. So this is how the features are going to be taken. So these three are very important. Apart from this, your phone number, mail ID, Aadhaar number, your father number, your 10th class mark, what are these are going to be plays a role? They are all unnecessarily variables, or they are all unnecessarily features of the student to judge the to take a decision of the student that he is eligible for the placement or not. So this is of the features are going to be filtered based on their weightage. Clear? Yeah. So now I have created the data now. So my next concern is that I'm going to take split. Like we know that here the split is 2 because 50% of data I wanted to be taken as a training data and 50% of data I wanted to be a test data. Clear? So now you tell me the train data I wanted to be train data. So how you supposed to be write the code now? We have to be access the elements of the particular data, which means what? I wanted to be if training data is equal to data, it's a name of the array called as a data. Here I'm asking you how you are going to write a data now, how you are going to write a logic here. So using the slicing operator also, because here I'm very clearly telling you top 2 rows will be considered as train data. How do you write a logic now? So I need a complete all the rows. Sorry, I need a probably Up to what extent we required there is a, I already told you that comma. Before comma, it deals with the rows. After the comma, it deals with the columns. Here, I required, colon up to split. Split is already 2, right? Split to 2 means 2 minus 1 is 1, which means what? It will be read the data from this particular row and this particular row. Because I have read, if I don't specify any more here, which means it will start reading from the 0th row, first row. But up to what row it will be go? The upper boundary will be 2. 2 minus 1 is 1, means 0th row and first row will be displayed here. Because we wanted to be considered these 2 rows only, right? But what about columns? Columns, this column, this column, this column. All the columns are required. Then I will be able to specify after the comma that, simply colon. Yes or no? Now, if you display, you will be get to know what exactly training data. Training data. That. Yeah. Now, if you execute, it will be give you the some kind of a result. What exactly are displayed? I hope you have understand, right, guys? Can you respond to me? This is very important while dealing with the data science related algorithms. Please, if you have any questions, you ask me, please. This is what I expected. Now I'll give you the task now. I need a test data. Test data, which means what? Display bottom 2 rows. So how do you write? Please, can someone tell me? You execute and show me. Don't be rush. Please, you just try to execute yourself and then tell me the logic. How do I write this? Am I audible to everyone? Aruna, Devi, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please, I need an answer for this. The way I have written the logic, you have to be supposed to tell me that how to write a logic for this. Does anyone have written? Did you get the output or not? So from this, I want this particular two rows to be displayed. So firstly, you have to take the here comma. Before comma, you have to decide what to be displayed. So already we know the split, right? Split I have decided as a 2 because I wanted to be display the data from the second row onwards. So absolutely I can able to keep like this. So it will be go up to n. But what about the columns? Absolutely the same column. That's all. So here you just understand before this particular comma will be specified related to the rows. How many rows from where we want it to be displayed. And obviously all the column values we require, right? After the colon, we want a column related data. If I just give the colon, absolutely all the columns data will be displayed to you. That's all. So if we print now, absolutely you can able to get the data, which is test data. That test underscore data. Yeah. Guys, did you understand what exactly we wanted to be right? Because this small logic is very important. If you have any queries, you can ask me because now still I'm going to ask now column wise. Rows related filtering you have done now. Because training and testing data you have divided because the algorithm would expect like this kind of output. Now I'm asking you that, another question. Please, from your end also, please try to execute and check. Okay. So next is that from this particular data, I already told you that this is an x1, this is an x2 according to the algorithm. This is going to be the y, which means that x1 and x2 are the input features and y will be the output feature. So now I'm asking you to display these two columns are going to be the as a separate data and this has to be the separate data because this is an output column This is a predictor. These two are the input features. So you write a code such a way that x1 and x2, these two columns has to be stored in a one particular object, and you have to store this particular column as another object, such a way that you are able to, because the algorithm is going to take a y is equal to, so m x1 plus m x2 and plus c. This is how the data has to be go. So where x1 and x2 has to be there in a one particular variable, and y has to be in one particular variable, and m and c are going to be coefficient calculated based on the training data. Okay. Now my simple question is that I am asking you that display input features as first two columns, 0th and first columns, as in one object. And next is that display output or dependent variable. Dependent variable, which is second column. Yeah. I want answer for these two. Is in the So now I'm trying to take, there is a variable is called as input features. Input features. And data of this. Then now output feature is equal to data of this. So now I want data to be displayed that in the first two columns. How do you write? because we want, first you take a comma. Here also you take a comma. Before comma, what you want? You want all the rows, right? Absolutely, you can keep comma. Just colon you can give. Then next, what do you want? Columns we want, absolutely. We want from the beginning of the column up to 2, which means what? 2 minus 1 is 1. 0th column, first column will be displayed as an output to you. You see the output now? Input features data. Comma, input. So I hope you are able to see my screen. Let us see that, what about the, last column? So we want absolutely all the rows required. Now here you tell me.
2 colon, sir.
2 colon, huh?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. I tried, it came.
Which means that, okay. Or else meaningfully you can write, right? We want all the rows from the this, but I'll be take it as okay. Okay, let's see. I'll be printed output feature data, comma. Yeah. Okay. This is the data only, right? Yeah, 50, 55, 69, 70. Okay. Yeah. So after the 2, there are no columns, right? Absolutely, it will be taking the second column.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
If there are more columns, then we have to specify this part also. Up to what extent you can able to say that now 3. 2 to 3 means 3 minus 2, 3 minus 1 is 2, right? 2 to 2 it will
Yeah.
be displayed, means one column will be displayed.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And we can
Correct.
put indexes also in the array, sir. Like in the array, we
Here,
can put, yeah.
here, we
For,
can keep no. Yes,
yeah.
yes, we can keep.
That is very straightforward, it seems.
Yes, yes. If you don't give also, it will be taking from 0 to n minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Even if we give like, 0 to 2 also doesn't make any difference. Like 0 to 3, right?
Yeah, yes.
4 columns, 4 rows, right? This also
Yes.
gives you the same output. Like, absolutely it will be 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Yeah, now it will be the same. Always the upper boundary will be minus 1. We have to be. You have to take
Yes.
minus 1. Correct, correct. And there will be other methods also in order to split, but this method most of the time we'll use, like, because the Excel sheet can have let's suppose there are a lot of data we are going to see in the progressive classes. Just this logic is mandatory. Everywhere we follow this logic. How to divide the training and testing data, how to split the data into input features are different from the output feature. So these 4 possibilities every algorithm has, we are going to take in supervised algorithms, especially linear regression, multilinear regression, support vector mission, or else Navi Bayes and a decision tree. Many more algorithms we have. This particular split is mandatory because in algorithm it will be there. That time we shouldn't be get any kind of a confusion out there, right? Yeah. So now, yeah. Yeah. So let us see now, like, what are the arithmetic operators, like, we can able to perform on this. And yesterday we have seen that, but, you have to understand, especially, here, let me talk about some drawbacks also we can able to see. Arithmetic operations applied on vectors. Let us take, I'll be taking yeah. So there is a concept called as I'm going to take, there is a absolutely Numpy we have created. I'm creating, there is a variable called as a. So where np dot array, I would like to create that one dimensional array, something called as, 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 50. These are the one dimensional array I'm going to create. And then another array I'm going to create, like b is equal to numpy dot array, where I'm going to create another array, something called as a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now simply if I able to perform c is equal to a plus b, we can able to perform, yes or no? So absolutely we can able to see and we can able to produce output too. So simply it will be able to take 10 plus 5, this element, and this element is going to be perform the addition. This is going to be the addition, this is going to be addition. But whereas if you create a list, it's not possible to perform the the addition between them. Yes or no? Yeah. So now you take a two-dimensional array. Now we are going to take a two-dimensional array now. So what exactly we are doing? So there will be the variable, something called as a k is equal to, I am going to create np dot array of so I'm going to create, there is a two-dimensional array that something called as a 1 comma 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 5 comma 6 and 7 comma 8 comma 9. This is the two-dimensional array. So now I'm creating, there will be the scalar variable, something called as a p, like s is equal to 2. See here, if the variable is holding one particular value, this is called as a scalar value, scalar vector we can say. Okay, so now my concern is perform multiplication with one vector as scalar, another is two-dimensional data, two-dimensional matrix. So now how exactly I wanted to print here? So I wanted to perform that, the result is equal to, isn't it, k into s. So what I'm doing here, I'm just multiplying one value as a scalar, one value as a two-dimensional matrix. So after that, you just try to be perform, you see the result, it will be give you the performing a given result. Like, what I have done here, I have taken s as equal to 2 and this is the, now 2 into 1 is 2 and 2 into 2 is going to be the 4, 2 into 3 is going to be the 6, 2 into 4 is 8, like that, the multiplication can also be possible. If you create a matrices or scalar vector using the Numpy, if the same place, if you are going with a absolutely with a list data structure, it's not going to be possible. Already I have shown you. So here, so let us see the limitation here. Now, what is the, so please, you have to understand that here you have declared already the two-dimensional array, right? So now if you look at, there is an array, we have to see the limitation. See, whenever we perform by default matrix rule, right? If you perform multiplication between two variables, the number of columns in a first matrix should be equal to number of rows in a second matrix. Otherwise, the matrix multiplication cannot be possible. According to the similar aspect, now we have already the two-dimensional array. Now I'm creating, there is a array is called as J, which is having numpy dot array of, here I am creating, there will be the values called as a 4 comma 5, only 2 rows, but whereas in the actual variable like 1 to k is having 3 rows 3 columns, but I wanted to be perform, you see, now I wanted to perform the addition. What happens, you see, result 2 is equal to k plus j. What I'm doing here, so K is a 3 into 3 matrix, but J is having only 1 row, 2 columns. Does it happen? You just trying to see. It will be gives an error to you. Operands cannot be, like, couldn't be broadcast together with a proper spaces. So because the shape of the matrices will be like this. This matrix is 3 into 3 matrix. This particular matrix is having only one dimensional array with through two elements. So if you have this kind of a problem, the broadcasting cannot be possible. The broadcasting cannot be possible. That is supposed to be understood. Like, so this is called as a jagged matrix, I can say. So whenever mismatching of the rows and columns, sometimes, certain operations cannot be performed. That also possible with only the Numpy is also having the same issue. These are all knowledge of the matrices. I hope you understand about it. And comes to in the next class, I'll be talk, completely about matrices related operations. How the dot product of the matrices will be takes place. So what is a scalar matrices, what is a dot product matrices, and what are the types of matrices and what operations can be performed with the matrices, because completely image processing and data will be takes place with the help of this particular matrices operations only. Are you clear? So please kindly practice properly. You can see the internet, you can see my material, everything, whatever. And I'll be share one textbook to you today. I think I'll be keep in a drive. You data science with a Python, I'll be keep one textbook for you. And let me see once. Please you follow that particular book. So I'll share this particular book to you. You please, you can refer this. I'll be keep into your drive. Please, you can refer it. Yeah. So I'll be a little modification is required. I'll send it to you. And yes. So do you have any queries, guys? I hope today you have understand very nice topic. It will be required for entire the data science and machine learning concept. Please try to keep in your mind all the logics, whatever you have applied, right? So I'll be conclude the session now. I think rest of the things we'll see in the Monday's class. Okay. Yeah.